Molweni bethuna, igama lam ngu-Asanda Gqoboka. How much of that did you get? I just wanted to do that exercise to show you a bit of sign language and also a bit of how let you into the world of my world and the world of the deaf people and how do they feel. I've experienced this through my son, how he feels when I try to communicate with him without even um, facing him. Even when he communicates with me, I actually need to face him because all his communication is through expression, like facial expression, and also through his hands. So if when I cannot when he cannot uh, understands me, like you guys could not understand a bit of what I've just said, it becomes you really want to communicate with a person, but you can't because of the language barrier. This is why I started this podcast, and just to let you in my world as a parent of a deaf child, and also just for awareness on how we can as people who are hearing can conduct ourselves around deaf people, and just to practice more courtesy around them, and to also understand their frustration on when they cannot understand how the communication or what we are trying to say to them. Another thing, sign language is in English. So even with my son, if I say something, I need to voice it out in English. Although I'm signing as well, but I need to voice it out in English as well because he likes lip reading, and also we are in the process of getting him a cochlear implant. So it makes it easier for him to understand what we're trying to say, and so if I say it in his Xhosa, it's totally different. So he will not understand, will not be able to read my lips. So sign language is taught in English in South Africa, as far as I know. Yeah, it is taught in English. So when you communicate with signers, deaf people, if communication needs to be in English. I have not seen a deaf a person who communicates in any other language than other than English. A sign language is in English, is taught in English. Even the definition app, it is in English. But I try to just, in my mind, I because I'm first language is Xhosa, so I do sometimes speak isiXhosa in my head while I am signing in English, just to make myself understand. So do three. I basically speak three languages when I speak with my son, and isiXhosa internally, verbally English, and then translate that into sign language. It is a process. But today I'm not going to talk about that. Today I'll be speaking about carer fatigue and the support that helped me to go through this journey and to endure and to just be positive about it, and also what I feel like would help when people are interacting with us as carers of children with impairments. Being a carer on itself, like being a parent on itself, comes with a lot of challenges, as children have their own characters, and as a parent, you have your own character. So you sort of sometimes need to you actually need to carve the child to be a better person around people. So regardless of their own character, which sometimes is a challenge. So now having to add an impairment on top of being a parent and parental challenges, it becomes sometimes overwhelming for a carer, especially the primary caregiver of the child. So there are things that along the way that I felt that were very hurtful and were not really assisting me in any way and were not helping in the situation where people offer unsolicited advice, especially based on inkolo yabo, like your religious beliefs, and also on, yeah. So I'm gonna give an example or examples on this topic. As I said, that my son's journey has been a long one, especially for him to actually get the cochlear implant. So on the previous years, earlier in our years, someone called me, someone like in close proximity, not really immediate family, but yeah, someone who I've known for a long time. And she called, and I was getting out of work from my then work, which was a contract work, and I just went there to the headquarters to negotiate a longer period. And I just came out of that, and this person calls me, and then just to catch up, and then I told her about the journey that we are currently going through, another testing for the child, to get him hearing aids or something. And then this person says, yo, ayisanani late. Umntana kazibani bani was helped yena because sibani bani went early, and then the child is now already has hearing aids. It was hurtful. I never said that to her. I just said, oh, okay. And then luckily my bus was already coming, and then I said, I need to drop off, I need to get into the bus. That was really hurtful. You cannot tell the parent that they are late in their process. It was really hurtful of that person. And I think what was more hurtful was that it was a person in close vicinity. It was not someone that I've just known, I've just met. It was really hurtful. What was most helpful was that people I've just met were very supportive of the journey and very understanding. But that person was really like, I don't know what got into her. I don't know, maybe she thought she was helping or what. But it was not nice at all. It wasn't. So so I am gonna beg you, please, if you do not have something constructive, something helpful, or something nice to say to the person, rather keep your opinions to yourself. It is really not nice to tell that to a parent who is trying all they can for their child. And wena uvele uthi ba late. And I'm also gonna say that to parents, it is never too late. It has taken me 12 years to get to where I am with my child, and to get them to get cochlear implant, and it's not late. It is not late. Um, my son is excited about the journey, and as well as my family. I'm also excited about it. It is gonna bring more positive vibes in towards my son's well-being, because now he will be aware of his surroundings. So please, parents of children with impairments, do not be deterred by people who have not walked even one step in your shoes. Um, yes, it will be helpful in that moment, but if you know your end story, please carry on, soldier on. Take a break when you need to, but dust yourself up and carry on trying to strive for what you believe your child should have. Your future of your child will not be determined by people outside of your life. It will not. So yeah, I think it still hurts. That is why I'm still crying. It still hurts. I think I never addressed that with that person, and in Gulam to Gemnake, who tries to just get on and get the positive out of the things, even though, so I don't soak in hurt. So I think that is why now, because I'm reflecting on that incident, this is why now I'm crying. But yeah, I try not to soak in hurt. I try not to soak in negative things. Um so yeah, this took me off guard. So that is that. And also there was another person. This one didn't hurt much because it was not a person that I was close to. It was someone that I had given a lift to. I was going to work, and then they were going to the same direction. And along that, I don't know what we're talking about. And then I just said, maybe I was too excited as well. I just said, I'm taking my son for a cochlear implant. He's gonna get a surgery done. And then this lady said, Ubana, yo, nidlala ngendalo kabawo. And I was like, this lady doesn't understand what we are going through. So, and indalo kabawo, is from my understanding, there wouldn't be doctors who are able to perform this if ubawe bengayifuni bamayibe khona. And also, then it means to me, if you are sick, you must just ngonufe. Don't take a Panado. To me, this surgery, yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's a huge thing. But to me, is like any remedy for any other sickness or illness. So for a person who, when they get a headache, takes their Panado or takes any painkiller, it was so taboo for me for a person to say that. And a person who does not understand anything. And this is not the first person to say that. My mom was also hurt by a professional at the school, at the hospital in Eastern Cape. The professional said, why is she so persistent in trying to get my son help, while there are a lot of other people who are deaf and they are just carrying on with life. This is the same Eastern Cape that does not have proper resources for deaf people. I had an opportunity to go to Eastern Cape while I was still struggling to get a proper job in Western Cape. I had an opportunity to go to Eastern Cape I had a job offer, but I couldn't relocate because my son could not get a school with resources. Yes, there are schools, but they are so under resourced that the child or the future of your child is doomed. So it was really, yeah. So this is just to share my experience and also to plead with people, like plead, like okay, this is the getting to me. So I just want to plead with people to just be practice courtesy around people. Don't offer unsolicited advice, and your advice needs to be okay. It needs to be a building, a constructive advice. It can't be something that is meant to ukubulala umntu. You can't do that. It is cruel to a person. So yeah, that is that. So please, guys, let's treat each other with respect, and also let's not judge parents. It is not nice at all. It is not nice to judge a parent, but it is even worse when there are limited resources for the parent to make better decisions for the child. You really you really can't be that cruel. It is not nice. So I also had another incident where, okay, with this Kara fatigue. So I had communicated with my sister that I would love for my children to go home, and just to, and my sister was like, yeah, actually, when we towards December last year, she said, no, actually, you can just get. I'm sure Mama won't mind to have your kids just for a week, then just for you to recharge and ubuye alright for abantwana. Okay, cool. I speak with my mother. My mother doesn't mind, and my sister is fine. And then I went to her event, and then when I went there, I left the children there. Then she had booked a bus to transport abantu basendlini from Ekomani to where we were, where the event was. So she also booked for my kids then to go home with my mother and the rest of my siblings. So, okay, they went back to my home, and then after the event, I traveled back to Cape Town. My son got sick immediately. So, and another thing was that my son, they had a problem, a Komani with network, as Lalin. They had a problem in network. I couldn't communicate with him. I could communicate with his sister when she gets network. Like I would write a message, and then wherever there's network, then Ogo would reply and say, no, we are fine, Mama, or Sanda is sick, and all that. That was that. With Ogo, it was easier because we can communicate via WhatsApp and all that. But with Usanda, I need to actually have a video call with him, because that's the only mode of communication he can understand, he can use. Basically, he can't use a phone, he can't use a SMS. He needs like to see me. So as much as I got my break, but my break was short lived, because now I was worried about the sick son, and he was also not happy. Not that at home they didn't treat him well. Like my mom adores him. Like everyone else at home adores Usanda. He is a person's person. He loves, like he's very affectionate way more than me. Like he will hug you, he will kiss you. So he shows his love, and everyone else loves that at home. And everyone else who has visited us in my house knows that was Usana is known for that. Umuntu othanda abantu. So it is not that he was uncomfortable in any way at home. It was just that he felt the disconnect between Mnanaye. So, and also my thing is that I also never want to put more responsibility on Uoku because she is also a child. So I prefer her to be a child and a sister to Usanda, and not being a deputy parent to Usanda. So I try by all means to maintain that. And I think that was also the problem now, because now he was being a child, and in Usanda needed mama, so it didn't work out really well, because when I got home, suddenly the person who was sick was now okay. Like it was like nothing happened. He was okay. He was happy. It didn't even. The thing is, when I'm around, he doesn't even care about me that much. But I think it's the knowledge that I am just here around that helps him, that allows him to just move around and be free. So yeah, carer fatigue is something that I live with, and it is sometimes very difficult to take a break because of the examples that I've stated. And so support is really much appreciated, and I appreciate my family before that. They've been very supportive. I also appreciate my work employer has been like even colleagues, people around me have really been supportive around that. And like even my brother would come, who is currently here in Cape Town. He comes and brings his children around. They play. Sanda loves that. She enjoys that. So I also go to his house just for Sanda to get to connect with the cousins. So I also appreciate the school for having, especially when they have those big parents meeting. I attend those, and I also attend the sign language. I like sign language now. My son has been there since preschool, so I like know sign language. So I don't really need some of the classes, especially the basics ones. But I do go just to not to learn. Sometimes I go for life skills. I go to get support from the other parents, because when we go for a tea break, or even during the lesson, we get to talk about the challenges that we have as parents. Like one will say, yo, he signs really fast, and then it's like, oh, you also experience that, and then he gets frustrated when you don't understand. Oh, that's great. So it is some form of a support group. Even on our tea breaks, we talk about that. So it is a healing process for me as well. So that's one of the things that I've used as a support towards being a parent of a deaf child, and also the support that I get from home. And my siblings are very supportive of me. Like, okay, even my mother, they are very supportive of me. Like, yeah, yo, my word. Yeah, even sometimes when I don't even have money to go home, they will book me a ticket with my kids, like a return ticket to go home, so that I am not alone. Ikapa. Um, so it is really commendable of them. and it is something that I wish that every parent should have, and it is something that I wish that all people around us can practice, like being um ukucingelana, or like don't add to the stress that we already have. Don't add judgment um to what we are already experiencing. um yeah, this is very emotional. And also to the practitioners, I can't go to ekliniki kuthiwa ngumtholampilo in isiZulu, like it is where you get healed. So I can't go to a clinic only to be shamed or to be told it's a no-brainer. Why do we have this specialist in? Why do we have the specialist if there's no need for this specialist to help us? So I really need practitioners in the public space area, especially in Eastern Cape, because in the Western Cape, I experienced a totally different support. Like I was supported all the way. I did share in one of my videos that I got support. They plugged me with a support system, support groups that would help me in the long run, and they did help. All the NPOs helped. Um, Even in the public sector, in the private sector that I ended up uh, consulting in, they helped a lot. They helped a lot. Like the fundraising for the shortfall, I got a plug from the practitioner. She was like, "How do you plan on getting this amount?" And I was saying, "I've already used a lot of money, so I cannot afford debt at this moment, and I don't think anyone is going to lend me any money at this moment." So, and then she said, "Oh, okay. I've got things. I will check with them and then come back to you." She didn't waste any time. Within that week, she came back to me and she said, "There's other people who can help you with this. All you just need to do, I needed to sign some consent forms for them to use my child's images for their own donors," which is something I am familiar with because I have done a NPO work as well. So it was not a no-brainer for me. I just signed and they helped fundraise, like with it helped. So practitioners as well, if you cannot help, rather keep quiet. It is not your place to judge. It is not your place to shame. It is not your place to discourage. Siya emtholampilo to get healed, to get help. We don't go there only to come back wounded. It is not a place for that. So practitioners, please be really. I don't know whether that person was having a bad day, but you cannot tell a person about baninzi abantu abadef. So why do you think your child is special? You can't do that. You really can't do that. Your role, it is to tell me the options available there, which is what I got when I got to Cape Town. I was told the options and I explored my options on my own. So just to be told about, like, socinga especially umntanakho, hayi bo. Hayi bo, guys. Each child is special in their own parents' world. So you cannot tell the parent that umntanakho is not special. It was very appalling for a practitioner within the medical field to tell us, and the practitioner was in a specialist role. So why are you there as a specialist in? So yeah, this is why I came here, and I think I've uncovered a lot of things that I also haven't dealt with. And but yeah, care fatigue, it is something that is here, it is something that we live with, and it is something that is sometimes difficult for us to live, to even relieve ourselves of, because of the situation around it. As I shared the story, when my son went home, even though I was there, even though he was with the people that love him, but he didn't feel comfortable. He felt a void because I was not there, so he got sick. I also got sick when he was about to undergo the surgery. My word, like so we went to see the doctor on a Monday, and the doctor told us, okay, no, he wanted to see the area. He wanted to check if he doesn't have any flu or anything, so that they can change the booking if there's something booking at the hospital for admission. But there was nothing with him, and then she just told me to keep him safe, to just give him vitamins to ensure that his immune system is strong and he doesn't catch any colds. Did I not catch the colds? Whatever, everything that I was protecting him from, I caught everything. Like I caught everything. And he has a eczema just like me. His skin is very dry, and in winter it gets really dry and irritated. So I try to moisturize and push him to like wash. He doesn't like washing. I try to keep him to wash and then to moisturize to keep his skin moist. Okay, it works out for him. I do the same for myself, but it didn't work out for me. The cream that I've been using for years, Epimix, that I've been using for years, it didn't work. I like flared up, like my whole body had rush, like it was it was scary. I went to the doctor. The doctor was so scared. He said, I'm not even gonna give you tablets as the antibiotics. I'll need to inject these antibiotics. He gave me an injection. My word, I went to the pharmacy. I took they gave me a cream. Nothing worked until he was admitted. And by that time, I was also scared to actually touch him, because now I don't want to infect with him with this. Like it was so scary. But luckily, I didn't spread the flu. I didn't spread the the rash that I had. So that was part of me being so worried about him that it flared up like it's, yeah. So we do get those. We worry a lot. So we are overprotective. I'm overprotective, but not as much as my mother. My mother, my mother will kill you. Gosanda, like she is very overprotective. Like she will even she wants like ufuna umbeleko, uyambeleka. My mom is 75 this year, but Sanda is 12. But Umama will want to carry Usanda on her back. That's how overprotective she is of him. So yeah, it is. Yeah, it's something really unfathomable, but it is what it is. I care a lot about him. He cares a lot about me. But I think if we can get him to get the independence that comes through with the cochlear implant, it would be much easier for him to even trust other people and communicate with other people. So then it would be easy for me to even get a break, the break from a parenting, just to recharge and then to come back is on a high. So I haven't taken a breaks this year at all from parenting. Like I've been 24/7 with the kids, and I am hoping that through the cochlear implant, my child will gain his trust and independence on away from me, and angaguli xa ndingekho around. Yeah. So please, guys, do practice courtesy around and respect decisions that we make on our children's behalf. As a parent, you cannot awunozala umntana and then only for you to hurt them when they are in their teens. My son is approaching his teens. There's no way that I would want to hurt him. Like, I had all the chance in the world. Like, seriously. So let's trust parents, that parents can make the right decisions for their children, because at the end of the day, it's the parent who's going to live with the decision that they've made. What I liked, I shared this with my brother, who about that we were going to take the cochlear implant, and then what I liked about the conversation, he asked, how is he feeling? Meaning, how is Sanda feeling about this? Is it? And I told him that he's so excited about it. So he said, eyithanda umuntu wayo, we will pray that his wishes be granted. So this is what I am appealing to abantu abacebisa around. Just ask the person what are their wishes, or don't even ask, just pray bancedise uba their wishes be granted. Akho sidingo sokuba ujaje. It's not about you, it's about the other person. It's about what they want. It's about what their experiences with the condition and what they think might help. So it's not about your beliefs or anything. Please, Bituna, it's not about you. Sanuzifaka. Thank you so much, Bituna, for listening. I hope that we can be better beings towards other people, and that we can practice more courtesy and respect and love for one another. Enkosi kakhulu for listening. I am Asanda Kopoka, signing out. This is an I, this is an L, a U is this, but now it's a U facing down. I love you. Please do subscribe.